Welcome to ProKitchen University, an online video tutorial series, version 11. This video is part of the Mac Native Interface series for Mac users only. Welcome to the Cabinet Basics Part 1 video tutorial. In this video, we will locate and place cabinets and navigate how to use cabinet handles. Cabinets are the main focus of designing in ProKitchen software. Once walls, architectural and room elements have been created for the design, it is time to start drafting your room. There are 3 places in which you may locate cabinets for placement. Let's start with the catalog panel on the left of the ProKitchen window. At the top of this panel is a drop-down menu that contains all your catalogs. It is important to select your working catalog before you begin designing. Catalogs listed in black are installed and ready for you to design in. Below the catalogs listed in black are catalogs listed in gray. These catalogs will need to be initialized before you can begin designing in them. When you select a catalog in gray, the catalog panel will automatically open the Initialize tab. Simply left-click the Initialize button to initialize the catalog. Once finished, this catalog will now be listed in black and may be selected to design in. Please note that some manufacturers require proof of relationship prior to initialization. If you do not see the catalog you require within the catalogs listed, please reach out to your ProKitchen account manager. Once a catalog has been selected, take some time to set the global specifications. Global specifications will determine things such as construction, door and drawer styles, finish colors, and more, and will allow for the proper 3D rendering of your design. For more information on setting your global specifications, please visit the Global Specifications video tutorial. Next, you will want to make sure the wall zones are turned on. Wall zones, or placement zones, are the areas from the wall to the dotted line adjacent to the walls. These wall zones, when turned on, allow you to create an elevation view and will snap the backs of your cabinets or items to the wall. This will ensure there are no gaps in the design. To turn wall zones on or off, navigate to the bottom right-hand corner of the ProKitchen window and left-click the Zone tab. When the tab is gray, the wall zones will be off. The cabinets will not snap back up to the wall automatically, and you will not be able to create an elevation view. When the tab is blue, the wall zones will be on and will be marked on plan with a dotted line within the room. Now, cabinets and other items will snap to the face of the wall in the appropriate orientation, and you will be able to create elevation views and have proper rendering in 3D. Now let's place a few cabinets from the catalog panel. To find a cabinet, follow the catalog tree within the catalog panel. Left-click the arrow icon to the left of the desired folder. Then you will see any additional subfolders appear below. Continue to open subfolders until the SKUs of the cabinets contained within are listed. When you left-click on a cabinet's SKU in the catalog panel, a 3D image of the cabinet will appear in the info panel above. This 3D image is interactive. When placing your mouse on the image in the info panel, you may right-click and hold the mouse to rotate the cabinet. You may use the roller ball to zoom in and out, or left-click on the cabinet to open all the doors and drawers. When you are satisfied with your choice of cabinet, it is time to place it. Back in the catalog panel below, when you have the catalog tooltip turned on, and you left-click a cabinet to select, a side panel will appear to the right, where you may adjust the dimensions and angle of the cabinet as well as create a back offset or sidewall offset, and access the cabinet modifications without having to engage the right-click toolbox by accessing the cabinet attributes. To adjust any of these dimensions, simply use the arrow buttons to adjust, or highlight the current text and type in the desired dimension. Note: any dimension changes made to a cabinet by this method will be for design and visual purposes only. If you need to make dimension modifications, they must be created in the cabinet attributes under the Modifications tab in order for these changes to make it to the manufacturer. Now that we have a cabinet selected, left-click and hold the SKU of the cabinet that you wish to place. Then drag your mouse into the plan view and into the wall zone adjacent to the wall in which this cabinet will be placed. Once the mouse is within the dotted line denoting the wall zone, release the left click on the mouse. This will drop the cabinet into the wall zone and allow you to move it freely along the selected wall. Left-click once more to secure it into the current position. This cabinet is not exactly where it needs to be, but we will move it into place in just a moment. Let's grab another cabinet from the catalog panel. Left-click and hold the SKU of the desired cabinet. Drag the mouse into the wall zone and release to drop it in. I know the exact left-right placement for this cabinet. So this time, instead of left-clicking again to secure, I will take my hand off the mouse and type the desired left, right, or center dimension in the dimension fields that now display at the bottom of the Pro Kitchen window. To access the center or right fields, tap the Tab key on the keyboard. Once a single measurement has been typed, tap Enter on the keyboard to move the cabinet precisely where it belongs. You only have to provide one of the three distances here, as Pro Kitchen will auto-populate the correct values for the other two fields once you hit Enter on the keyboard. An additional way to locate cabinets within the catalog panel is to utilize the Find feature. Left-click the Find tab directly under the drop-down menu to open the Find page. Activate the empty search field with a left click. Then, type the SKU of the cabinet you are searching for. As you type, cabinets that have the currently typed characters in their nomenclature will appear below. The more characters typed, the smaller the list will become. As before, to place this cabinet, left-click and hold, drag and drop into the wall zone. Either type the left, right, or center dimension in the dimension field below, then tap Enter on the keyboard, or move your mouse close to the side of an adjacent cabinet and left-click to secure in place. Notice, when the Snap tab at the bottom right corner of the Pro Kitchen window is turned on, the newly placed cabinet will automatically snap directly to the side of the previously placed cabinet, again ensuring that there are no gaps in the design. Now that we have utilized the catalog panel to locate and place cabinets, let's explore the other two options in which we may find and place cabinets. Navigate to the top of the Pro Kitchen window and select the Place tab to open a drop-down menu. Approximately halfway down this menu, you will see Cabinet, or alternatively, you may navigate to the left toolbar and select the cabinet icon. Selecting either of these options will launch a dialog box, opened directly to the catalog you have previously selected within the catalog panel. When we left-click the drop-down in the dialog box, we will find only catalogs that have already been initialized. We will find cabinets here much as we did within the catalog panel, either by navigating the catalog tree or by typing the SKU in the Find field below. This time, when we left-click on a cabinet to select, the tooltip will not appear, and we cannot drag and drop from the dialog box. Instead, bring the mouse to the bottom right corner of the dialog box and left-click Place. The dialog box will disappear, and the mouse is now a crosshair, denoting the Place Edit mode. Move the mouse into the wall zone and left-click once to drop the cabinet. Now you can move the cabinet into place manually and left-click to secure, or use the left, right, and center fields below and tap Enter on the keyboard. Once the cabinet has been secured in place, the dialog box will reappear so you can place more cabinets. When you have finished placing cabinets from the dialog box, left-click the Cancel button to dismiss. I will place just a few more cabinets in this design before we explore the cabinet handles. The last cabinet I will place for this demonstration is the diagonal wall cabinet. When dragging and dropping a corner cabinet, it is important to remember that ProKitchen software requires you to draw and design in a clockwise fashion, so it is the best practice of habit to drag corner cabinets in from the appropriate wall to ensure proper orientation, as corner cabinets will orient properly in the next clockwise corner. Once the cabinet is in the appropriate orientation, in the correct corner, left-click to secure. Now that we have cabinets in place, let's take a look at cabinet handles. When left-clicking on a cabinet placed within the wall zone, a series of arrows will appear on the cabinet. The cabinet handle that appears as a double-sided arrow at the back of a cabinet is used to move the cabinet in or out from the back of the wall. To use this, left-click the arrow icon once to drag the cabinet out from the wall. Or, alternatively, take your hand off the mouse and type the out or back dimension in the appropriate field below. Then tap Enter on the keyboard. Out will determine how far into the room the front of the cabinet will land. This option will only work appropriately if the opposite wall of the room is present. Back will determine where the back of the cabinet will sit in relation to the face of the wall. Once a cabinet has been removed from the wall zones, and we left-click the cabinet again, the cabinet wall lead handle will no longer be available, as you may now move it freely about the design space. When a cabinet that sits against an adjacent wall is selected with a left-click, an additional handle will appear at the side of the cabinet. This handle will allow you to pull the cabinet off the adjacent wall. Left-click the handle once to drag the cabinet off the wall, or use the out and back fields to type the preferred distance of pull and tap the Enter key on the keyboard to secure. Or, alternatively, on any cabinet within a wall zone, left-click the cabinet to select, and utilize the left, right, or center fields below to determine the cabinet's placement as previously demonstrated. The additional circular arrows on each corner of the cabinet are the cabinet rotation handles. The rotation handle that you select with a left click will then be the fulcrum point of the rotation. You may move the mouse in the direction of the desired rotation, or, once again, take your hand off the mouse and type the required rotation of the cabinet in the angle field below, then tap Enter on the keyboard. Please note that ProKitchen will prevent rotation that causes a collision, so it may be necessary to move a cabinet away from other items prior to adjusting the rotation. Also, if you intend on moving this item back into a wall placement area, temporarily turn off the Zone tab so the rotation that you just created will not be undone when returned to the wall placement zone. To turn off either the wall lead handles or the cabinet rotation handles, you may do so by accessing either your default settings under the Appearance tab or the Display settings under the Selection and Grid tab which you may access either from the Settings tab or with a right-click on the grid area within the design space. There are additional methods of moving the cabinet in or out and creating rotation, so it will be up to you as the designer whether or not you wish to have these handles turned on for use. Pro Kitchen's multiple methods of placing and moving cabinets into their precise placement location makes drafting an easy task. There are even more movement and additional tools available for cabinet components. These may be found in the right-click toolbox. To learn more about cabinet right-click tools, be sure to visit the Cabinet Basics Part 2 video tutorial. Thank you for visiting Pro Kitchen University. Be sure to visit us at prokitchensoftware.com.